In today's video,
One built the largest contiguous empire in history. The other never lost a single battle. But when it comes to efficiency, only one of them completely dominates this matchup. Throughout history, two names stand out as synonyms for absolute power, leaders who reshaped the map of the world with strategy, speed, and uncommon ambition. On one side, a brilliant commander, trained from a young age to lead. On the other, a survivor who came from nothing and built a colossal empire practically from scratch. But here's the point. This isn't just about who conquered more territory. It's about who did it in the shortest amount of time. And that's where things get even more impressive. While one advanced with surgical precision, defeating the greatest empires of his time one after another, the other expanded his borders in a brutal, unstoppable way, leaving behind a trail of destruction on a scale never seen before. Two completely different styles, two massive outcomes, but only one can be considered the most efficient. Who truly mastered the art of conquest? Who expanded faster and with less resistance? And what matters more, speed or scale? Before comparing conquests, we need to understand where each one started, because in this case, the starting point changes everything. Alexander, the military prodigy. Alexander was born into power. The son of a king, he grew up surrounded by strategy, politics, and war. This is Alexander at a young age, being educated by one of the greatest philosophers in history, Aristotle. From early on, he didn't just learn how to rule, he believed he was destined for something greater. There was a constant sense of greatness in him, almost divine. When he took the throne at 20, he didn't start from zero. He inherited one of the most disciplined and efficient armies in the ancient world, a war machine, trained, structured, and above all, loyal. That means Alexander didn't have to build power, he just had to direct it. And he did that at an incredible speed. Here's the initial contrast. Alexander starts with a strategic advantage, a ready-made structure, and a clear goal of expansion. Genghis Khan, the survivor of brutality. Now, the complete opposite. Genghis Khan wasn't born into power, he was born into chaos. His childhood was marked by abandonment, violence, and extreme survival. This is the world he grew up in: fragmented tribes, constant wars, no stability. After his father's death, his family was left to fend for themselves. Hunger, persecution, betrayal, all of this before adulthood. Unlike Alexander, Genghis didn't inherit an army. He had to create one. And not just that, he had to unite people who until then were enemies. Tribe against tribe, family against family. But he did something revolutionary. He built power based on merit, not origin. If you were capable, you moved up. If you weren't, you were left behind. This system created something rare, real loyalty, and a completely new war machine. In 1206, he does the impossible. He unifies Mongolia, and at that moment, one of the greatest empires in history is born. Here, the contrast becomes even clearer. Alexander inherited power. Genghis Khan built power from nothing. It's not enough to look at the size of their conquests. We need to understand how they happened and how long they took. Alexander's expansion. Alexander didn't waste time. His main campaign was against the Persian Empire, the greatest power of the time. And he wasn't cautious. He went straight in. This is the pattern of his campaigns: fast attack, focus on the center of power, decisive destruction. Battles like Granicus, Issus, and Gaugamela weren't just victories, they were demonstrations of strategic precision. In about 15 years, Alexander conquered Egypt, Persia, and vast regions of Asia, and he did it without losing a single battle. That's not just military dominance, that's extreme efficiency. He didn't expand little by little. He dismantled entire empires all at once. Speed was the key difference, and every victory accelerated the next one. Now, Genghis Khan. The logic here is different. While Alexander destroyed centers of power, Genghis Khan expanded continuously, without stopping, without pulling back. After unifying Mongolia in 1206, he begins a sequence of invasions that would reshape the map of the world. China, Central Asia, the Middle East, and later Eastern Europe. In about 21 years, the Mongol Empire becomes the second largest in history. But it's not just the size that stands out, it's the method, extreme mobility, fast armies, efficient communication, and something very few leaders used this effectively: psychological terror. Entire cities would surrender before the battle even began, just out of fear of what would happen if they resisted. The impact was devastating. Millions of deaths, a continuous advance, impossible to contain. But unlike Alexander, Genghis Khan didn't focus on decisive strikes. He created constant expansion, a wave that never stopped. And that raises another question. Is it more efficient to destroy quickly or to expand without stopping? Let's go to a direct comparison. Now, side by side. Time and power, Alexander about 15 years, Genghis Khan 21 years. Scale of territory, Alexander massive for his time, Genghis much larger in absolute terms. Speed, Alexander extremely fast, Genghis progressive but constant. Efficiency, Alexander precision plus speed, Genghis scale plus continuity. And here's the most important point. Alexander was like a surgical strike, fast, direct, devastating. Genghis Khan was like a force of nature, slow at first, but unstoppable. So, which of these models better defines the word efficiency? Now the answer. If the question is, who conquered more territory? The answer is clear: Genghis Khan. His empire was larger, longer lasting, and had a massive global impact. But that's not the main question. The question is, who was more efficient relative to time? And here, the answer completely changes. Alexander the Great. Because he did something very few in history managed to do. He conquered a massive empire in less time, without defeats, with fast campaigns and extremely precise strategic decisions. He didn't just win, he won fast. But that doesn't diminish Genghis Khan, because what he built was bigger, more far-reaching, and in many ways more brutal. So in the end, it all depends on the lens you use. If the question is who conquered more, Genghis Khan wins. But if the question is who conquered faster, Alexander has no rival. And maybe the most interesting question is another one. If both of them had started under the same circumstances, would the outcome be the same? Want to hear more random facts that might change your life? Or not? Follow us here and on our other socials. Everything's down below in the video description. Also, drop a like, leave a comment telling us what you thought about the video and what you want to see next. And don't forget to share this with someone you think will enjoy it too.